So thank you for waiting for patiently. My name is Vishnu. I'm also one of the co-lead in Bangalore ACE chapter. I'll be hosting this hall. We have 3 sessions coming up. So in the interest of time, I'm diving directly to the session. So the first session we have is on improving service reliability through a better change management process. So we have our speaker, Pritesh Pasu. He's a senior product manager, JSM Atlassian. So Pratish, I'll welcome on the stage.
Thank you, Vishnu. Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. Sorry for the delay. I know that I am the only one standing between you and lunch, so I will try to use my time judiciously. Uh, my name is Prithvish. I'm part of the GSM product management team at Atlassian. We work on different aspects of IT ops and IT service management in general. Today, I'm going to cover a topic which would be near and dear to many of you. A quick show of hands before who are from a DevOps background or an IT administrative background, if anyone is in the room. Okay, I see a couple of hands. Others may be either interested in that area. So in the interest of time, I'll quickly start the presentation. Now, a quick call out that whatever I'm going to show, the current state and specifically the future state is very early stage of development. It's not a final product, so don't consider this as a final development deliverables that we have. Before we start on describing what our agenda for today is, I would like to take you through what do we mean by service reliability and what areas and what are the risks that we face today if we are not concentrating on solving the problems related to service reliability. The service can be an API, it can be a user interface, it can be a web page itself that is critical for your business. For example, if you are working in any of the payment gateways, imagine if the payment gateways goes down for even a minute, what it will mean to your customers. They will not be able to complete their payment processing. Thousands of payments will fail. And in general, that for a bigger organization, it may go up to a significant cost increment, as well as a lot of compliance and government regulatory issues. From Atlassian and Gartner, we have done a very quick analysis for the past decade. And what we have seen that on an average, an organization due to service downtime faces 540K per hour charge. Now that goes even higher for Fortune 1000 banking and retail companies. It is around 1 to 6 million. Some of you may know, a couple of years back, Apple Store went down just for a few hours and they incurred around 25 million in terms of loss of sale, loss of revenue. Something similar happened with Delta Airlines a couple of years back. Around, I think, 150 million was lost within a moment of few hours for just one of their very critical APIs. It went down. Not to mention, it will also incur regulatory challenges, government penalties, litigations, sentiment. Consider that for those who are in startup world, what would do to your startup. Now, my entire presentation today will be how we can prevent this. The thing is very, very simple. We are going to cover what JSM change management offers to your organization, how we can set up change management to prevent such disruptions. We are going to take you through a very nice scenario with one of the most popular DevOps tool, GitHub, how you can connect Jira, GitHub, and JSM change management together. So all your development teams, IT operations teams can come together through a simple integration. How that works, I'll show you. And I'm also going to talk about a few future possibilities as well. I'm going to show you some of the ideas that we are right now thinking through in terms of expanding change management beyond DevOps. We're going to talk about that as well. Now, at any point of time, if you have a question, please raise your hand. We'll take that up, or we will have a question and answer session at the end of this presentation as well. So the first thing is how JSM change management can help. What is JSM change management? It helps you essentially to do three things. Number one, for DevOps teams, it can track what are the changes that's happening. As a developer, if you are pushing a change to a business critical service, that service owner can see, say for example, you are the owner of a payment service, right? And you are working with 5 different teams across the world. You don't know who is making changes to your service. With JSM change management, you can see what kind of service change request you are getting. You can also, you have the power to approve or reject, slot changes, change the time, reduce the impact of the service, see the risks related to the service with the change management module itself. So you have a complete control over your service. Something similar for the IT operation. So when we talk about a change, sometimes this is just you are making changes to a code base, maybe a GitHub, GitLab, anywhere else, Bitbucket. But at the same time, you are also upgrading an infrastructure. So for example, if you are creating a complete data center, right? And you want to expand that data center for your organization. Now, of course, there will be software changes that you have to do, but you have to add additional network infrastructure as well. Maybe you have to upgrade, maybe RAM upgrade. We'll talk about that in detail when I show you the future possibilities we are thinking, but for now, you can track changes happening to a network infrastructure as well. Some of you may be in the future or now working in areas which are not related to DevOps at all. HR, legal, your other departments in your organizations. You have a humongous list of documents. Let's say an employee policy needs to change. An employee payment method needs to change. An employee or a legal framework or a corporate policy needs to change. It's not only the developers or the network administrators, but also the policies can be used as an asset. You can change and track and gate, which is approval in all of them as well. It's very interesting because our change management, when we talk about it, is used not only by DevOps, it's used by in such a manner that we have even customers from animal husbandry industry. So we have literally animals as assets in there. We have zoo customers who are zookeepers, right? The animals in the zoo are also mentioned as assets there. So asset can be anything under the sun. It can be a document, it can be a network, it can be a software. We are supporting changes everywhere. So let's first look at the DevOps scenario. This is very, very interesting. This is something we have today. It's not, you can, like if you have a JSM license, you can use it right now. And we support this CI/CD tools, Bitbucket, Jenkins, CircleCI, Octopus Deploy, and GitHub. GitLab, we are working on it. It's coming soon, probably in next 1 or 2 quarters. So all these 6 tools, if you are using any of them, you can use JSM change management today. What you can do, you can track the changes, as we have talked about. You can initiate approval, and you can also see, before you approve, all the risks associated with a change. So in the next few slides, I'm going to take you through kind of a walkthrough of how you can do that. And we'll start with all our favorite tools. I think most of those who have used development environments, you are already using Jira for your project management. So we'll start with Jira. Assuming I'm giving a demo of GitHub, but this is something almost similar process. You can connect with other development tools as well. So here's a Jira board. Of course, it's a blank project. I'm trying to create a new feature, maybe anything under the sun. And once you create a feature, you can, if your Jira environment is connected, so just a call out, before you use this, you will have to do some kind of pre-configuration. It's a very easy to do. It's an app. There is a app and steps to follow. So I'm not taking you through that. We have an elaborate documentation for this, but I'm just showing you what a developer will see in real life. So once you have the Jira project ready, you can connect it with GitHub and choose the GitHub repository where you're gonna do the check-in. And in the next step, we'll go to the GitHub UI, where assuming you are adding a new file, right? That's what you want to check in. And essentially you do that, you create a pull request, which is, every developer will understand, I'm assuming. And once that is done, the pull request starts executing. Now here is where the change management comes. What does it mean? It means that there is a separate service with a separate service owner. You are an external team creating a change in that service. Now that service, if your change is not thought through, you know the consequence, it will go down, there's a good possibility, and you will start incurring losses. That is exactly what we are going to prevent by using JSM. Now, in normal circumstances, let's assume you have two environments. I don't know whether you're clearly able to see this because there's some pixelation, but the first is a development environment, and the second one is a production environment. In a normal no JSM world, this will go through. This will go through with or without the approval of the change service owner. But because we have change management, what it will do, if it is configured properly, it will stop the deployment immediately. It will pause it. It will create two change requests at the JSM side. So what will happen is, the moment developers' experience will stop here. Now, if you're a service owner, instantly in JSM, you will see two change requests created. Now it can be 3, 4, 5, and you may be getting this change request from multiple teams around the world, right? If you are a global workforce. So the first change request is for deployment, development environment, and the second change request is for production environment. Now assume that you are fine approving it into development environment because it has low impact, but you want the change requests to be thought through. You want some changes in that PR request before you push it to production. So how will you take that? So the first change, here's how a change request looks like. It will have details of the service, which is, you can see here, this is the service that will get impacted. In a normal world, you will see all other parameters as well. You will see the change type. Is it a high impact change, low impact change? It will also give you a risk insights, which I will show in detail. So if you approve this change, what's the impact? You will be able to see it in that flow itself. No more email exchange, no more Slacks. All those are tracked here. So tomorrow, if someone asks that, hey, why did we make that change? Why did you approve that change? You have a full traceability metrics right here in this request itself. Now, let's assume that you want to approve the development, but you do not yet want to take it to production. So how will you do that? So you can click on the approve button, but the approver is also, in general, a very senior member of that service ownership team. It can be an engineering manager, or for even hires. We have seen even CEOs and even engineering heads of the company also become the approver. So that's the level of approvals that are there for some of them. In some cases, we have seen customers generally auto-approve the low-impact changes. You can do that as well. So for example, you have 5 services. 2 of them are very high priority, others not so much. Anyone can make a change. So any changes still tracked, but just auto-approved. In this demo, we will approve the first change related to development and reject the second change related to production because we don't want to take it to production yet. So the moment you do that, the developer's view in GitHub will start, resume the deployment. You see the first change in the box, deploy to development environment, it will resume instantly because it has been approved. And the second one will be rejected. Even though you own the repository, unless you get the approval of the service owner, you'll not be able to execute. And from developer's perspective, because we have a deep integration with GitHub, you will be also able to track those change requests. So if you are wondering why my change was rejected, you can click on that link. It will take you to the JSM. You can put a comment, have that conversation entirely recorded in that same change request for any audit or compliance purpose as well, right? Once this is done, it will definitely deploy, but it doesn't stop there. Remember that we are talking about 3 tools here: Jira, GitHub, and JSM. So across all these 3, be able to see your service's status, its deployment status, and everything. So what it will do is, it will send an input to the service owner, the JSM, remember the person who approved the service. He or she will see the first one as declined and the second one as complete. The moment it says complete, it means the deployment has been complete, right? And at the same time, either software engineers, your team working anywhere, in Jira as well, you will be able to see that status. So you can connect all your development environments that you're working on through this service integration right away. So that's the DevOps. It's very simple to use. Thousands of our customers use it today. It's a very popular feature as well, specifically with the enterprise. And if you are interested in that, I'm happy to chat after this presentation. But we are working on a certain things which I would like to show as well today. The first is, we talked about assets, being services, networks, essentially anything under the sun, right? So we have JSM. There's a thing called asset management in JSM, and we have, many of you may be aware that we have also acquired AirTrack, which is one of the best asset management software in the world, and that's part of JSM now. So this is how it looks like today. I'm just giving you an example. Say, for example, you have an organization with MacBooks, just an employee hardware, MacBooks, iPhones that you are sharing with your employees. Your asset is there, and it is connected to one of the employee, and the employee comes tomorrow and says that, hey, my hardware is not good enough. You can't upgrade MacBooks, but let's assume it's a Windows laptop and you have to upgrade RAM, right? How do you manage that tomorrow? Today, you have to manage it mostly manually, even in asset management as well as in change management. But what we are trying to do, just like the service thing that we have shown you, we are bringing assets into change management sometime in next quarter. So what you will be able to do right now is all your assets, any change, you will be able to track. Now, that asset, as I said, can be a document. It can be anything under the sun. And also, you will be able to track and in future get those changes. So if you, as an asset owner, you will have full control over your asset. No one will be able to make any changes without your approval if you enable asset tracking and asset getting in change management. This is very, very important. One of the highest, most asked feature from our customers, those especially who are using assets. It's a huge number of customers today who are using assets, mostly the large enterprises, but we are seeing a trend that even the startups have started using assets because it's very easy for you to manage your documents, its traceability, and specifically when it comes to compliance, audits, right? It's very easy to manage your legal documents. So imagine if you're a if you're in the legal department of a company, or even you're in HR, all the changes in that document, you don't have to go and see the history of the document changes. All the changes, who has requested, who has made that changes, what was the reason, who approved it. You don't have to worry about that anymore. All this will be traceable just from JSM change management itself if it is implemented. And not only that, change management adds two additional things. I have mentioned one earlier, which we will cover in the rest of the presentation, but it is change calendar, one of the very, very important part of change management. Those who have been working with multiple teams, you may have noticed that you may get change requests from, let's say, 5 teams, and it's very difficult for you to slot them unless you have the full picture. So what we have is a change calendar. Change calendar shows you for the changes or the services that you are owning, what are the changes that are coming, which changes are conflicting. For example, on the same service, if 2 teams are asking for change at the same time, there's a very big chance that things may go wrong, right? So you can slot those changes one after another. It's one of the most used feature in JSM. And what we are doing is we are adding assets to the change calendar as well, which means that for any multiple if you are working with multiple network teams, software teams, legal teams, all of whom are sending you different types of changes, now you will be able to slot them as per your wish, even if you're a developer. For example, you may get a change, you have an internal API, which is maybe employee payroll API. You may get a change from legal tomorrow, HR day after tomorrow, and you're also working on improving the performance. So you're working with 3 teams here, right? If you are the owner, you will have to ensure that those changes go hand in hand and they do not overlap, they do not create a list of incidents, because you will have to go and solve it, right, the next day. So that's something that change management will definitely help you reduce your workload. You will know what is the impact, who's the owner, when they are scheduled. All of those information will be at your fingertips. The last part which I would like to cover here is risk insights. Today we have a very small amount of risks that are highlighted. So for example, if you are a change approver, you see what are the changes that are scheduled, which we just discussed, but you can also see what are the incidents or bugs running on that change. So you are approving a change on a service, but if there are like 5, 6 incidents running in it, is it the right time to approve that service? Maybe not. Do you want to reach out to those incident team before you approve that service? Where do you see those incidents, right? So if you have JSM change management included, all those informations are shown to you by default. If you have a service or an asset in the future, you will be able to see what are the bugs that are open, what are the incidents that are running, high priority or low priority based on your administration. Administrator can configure that. What we are doing is we are adding a few more things to Risk Insights. It's a very small screen, so I'll see if I can somehow zoom it, or I'll just maybe describe. In addition to change and incidents, we are also bringing some human-specific areas. Like the most important aspect we feel missing from the industry is the chance of human error. Are the teams doing due diligence? Is the person who has requested that change, what is the history of that person's change requests and how frequently they were rejected, right? You need to know as a change approver. If you're working with multiple teams, you need to know whether the teams you are working with are doing the due diligence or not. So, number one, that thing that we are introducing is the change success rate, which means for this service, what is the trend has been? How many requests were raised? Let's say 100 requests were raised, 50 of them got approved. It's a 50% decline in change success rate. You need to be very, very mindful before approving a change for that service, because there's something going on that you do not know. Second, the team that is requesting the change, what is the kind of reliability for the team? Is that team reliable? If they have raised 100 changes, 80 of them have been rejected, you need to do your due diligence before approval. So that's kind of a human error-wise. In addition to that, we are also bringing, first, just for developers, this is not applicable for the assets or any other areas, is deployment success rate. The systems that you are working with, are they stable, or are there deployment failures, left, right, and center? So even if you approve the change, will it go through? That's a question that you need to know. And we are going to continue to add more and more risk insights to ensure that you do not need to go through back and forth emails, comments, or any of those. When you approve a change, you have all the information in your fingertips. That's the thing that we want to go through. We are going to expand this to even more. As I said, you will be able to see which are the change conflicts. You'll be able to see which deployments have failed, if you would like to do that. All those information will be at your fingertips in addition to whatever you have already. So with that, I think we are almost at the end of presentation, but if there are any questions, happy to answer that as well.
Please raise your hand, we pass on the mic.
So getting assets embedded into this entire process, you said it's a roadmap, right? So if we have an existing CMDB or any other database where we have already managed assets and we have a hierarchy of our infrastructure, is there a self-discovery or something that basically maps this, or is it going to be an effort for us to kind of draw the infrastructure landscape?
So you have to create your infrastructure landscape in assets. Is your question related to how do you connect that with change management?
We already have. In assets, we already have the landscape mapped.
Okay.
That is largely used today for observability, incident management.
Mm-hmm.
If we have to now bring this into the scope of change management, can we play the same landscape mapping that we have? That's the question.
Yeah, you will be able to plug and play. It's the same configuration items that you will be able to use. Now, you can do that today through a hack. There is a custom field called assets affected hardware, I believe. But it's a very restricted thing, and it's not easy to use. What we are trying to do is to give it out of the box, especially for the premium and enterprise licenses, those who have assets. It will be plug and play. It's just as good as like you are adding a service to a change. You will have all your configuration items.
And also the calendar demo that you were just showing, right? Teams calendar. Is that an add-on? Because that was an add-on that we had to purchase as a team calendars to publish it to Confluence. So now if we use all our change schedules through that calendar, can that be exported to something like Confluence so the wider audience can consume that?
So there is already a change calendar that is there out of the box. This will be part of that.
Oh.
We are working on integrations with change calendar. There are some integrations I think available in the Atlassian marketplace, which you can use. But most of the integration requests we get are for Outlook, Google Calendar. We are working on them. At this time, I don't have a timeline which I can commit. But yeah, that's one of that's a part of our roadmap item as well. Yeah.
And I guess once the changes are there, it follows the same process of bringing the status page also together, right? Because these three tools that you were showing, now anything that's get scheduled, that will automatically be pushed into status page.
Status page is a separate product. It's still not integrated as well as we would like it to be at this point of time. We do get such customer requests. That's a good point. I will take this as a feedback, but I don't, again, have a timeline for status page yet.
Because
We are-
that's a heavy lifting we do, because the other
I
side,
get that.
the customers and everyone is very anxious, when the communication is coming out and so on. So
Yeah.
thanks for that.
Sure. Just a call out that this is, you mentioned incident management, right?
Yeah.
This is not only for change management. Assets will be both change and incident management, because just like services, assets will also be cross issue type.
Yeah, incident we have already enabled. We consume everything on Ops Genie as a monitoring hub, then record tickets into JSM, then we have completed that cycle. But this is going to be very helpful with a lot of areas where we work in silos today. This will all help in one area for us to kind of visualize. So
Sure.
thank you so much.
Thank you.
And just to quickly add, there's a status page booth outside. So I think all your questions they can also take and get back to you. Any more questions?
Thank you for this wonderful presentation, Prithvish. So, since you were also already showing us that approval chain, right, where if your previous PRs or anything were not approved, it will show if this person has had a lot of rejected PRs in the past, and so insights around that. So, are you working on anything that has an AI component within it? Like, is there an AI that's advising this, or will it suggest me to do some more deep dive if somebody has, more rejected PRs, something like that?
Great question. I was waiting for it actually. Someone may ask. See, AI, of course, there's a huge focus on AI. You may have seen Atlassian, and Rishabh will also show that in action in the second half. One of the major asks that we get today is, it's fine, I know the information, I know approvals, but how I can automate that, right? How I can give a signal that this change is actually high impact, low impact, medium impact. So yes, we are thinking through some use cases. The end result of the problem that we are trying to solve is how we can make it very, very simple for the change approver, and how we can also give you signals based on our industry standard AI models. This change is actually high impact. You need more to do more due diligence.
Yeah.
Here are the steps that you need to, or what are the next steps, right? So we are doing that. Again, that's not something that will be immediately available. As you know, that AI modeling takes time, but we are definitely thinking through those scenarios, yes.
Okay. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see those coming up in the future. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe in the upcoming, when we have that. Yeah,
Thank you.
thank you.
Any more questions? I think that's a no.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor, for a wonderful session. Hope it was very insightful. So we are dispersing for lunch. I know we are running short of time. So we had 1 hour lunch break, but we are reducing that to 40 minutes. So please be back here by 1:40 for our next interesting session. Up next, we have another interesting topic on Jira, which is like enhancing Jira's health with the site optimizer. So please be back here by 1:40 if you are interested on that topic. Thank you. So lunch is here, so make sure you have a lunch coupon. Please be in the queue for that.
Hello everyone, welcome back. Hope you all had nice food, ready for the next pattern. We have our next session on enhancing Jira health by Abul Agarwal. So he's a product manager on Jira with Atlassian. So in the next 30 minutes, he'll be talking us on improving the Jira health with the site optimizer. So I'm handing over to Abu. Over to you.
Thank you. So, just have one quick question. How many of you really like to take care of your health? I think it's not probably the best question to ask after a lunch. But yeah, the topic of the presentation today is how we can enhance Jira's health with Site Optimizer. So, good afternoon everyone. I am Apurv. I am a product manager on Jira Cloud. And today I will be presenting a new and an exciting feature to enhance Jira's health. Just a quick trivia before I start. So, a random guess, how many issues do you think are created on Jira Cloud every year? Any guesses? Okay, 30 million. Anyone? $100 million. Okay. Yep. So the right answer is about 150 million issues are created on Jira Cloud every year, which is a great thing, which shows that we all love to create data and engage with Jira. But let's say if we keep growing like this, so Jira is expected to reach a new milestone, which is going to be 10 billion issues overall on cloud by FY25. Yeah, but the caveat is like, I know that we all love to create new and new data, but the caveat is that Jira also becomes bloated, right? We see that almost 40% of issues on cloud were last updated more than 2 years ago. And this is just one data point. We have more data configurations like schemes, issue type schemes, screen schemes, custom fields. Like even if you see projects, more than 16% projects were updated more than 2 years ago, which just shows that while we're loving to create new data and engage with the new data, there's a chance to probably do something about this bloat. Which brings me to the main slide of this presentation, that any data on a system goes through three phases. The create phase, which we just talked about, the engage phase, for instance, where we are moving an issue, let's say, from to do, in progress to done, where we are actively engaging with the data. And the last and one of the most important phases is the cleanup phase. That when you have, when you are not engaging with the data, it's not used anymore, you can start cleaning it up. So yeah, to have an optimized experience on Jira, having a performant Jira for you all, we want to maintain a balance between creation and cleanup. Let's talk about my friend Chloe. So Chloe is an org admin for a company, Prosperify Investments, and as Prosperify Investments just migrated from data center to cloud, Chloe's main responsibilities are to make sure that everyone, all the thousands of users on Prosperify, have the right set of Atlassian tools for them available. And secondly, they are optimal for them to use. And thirdly, the data security and compliance are there for this financial services company. But Chloe is a busy admin, right? She does not have time. And as the data on the company system starts to accumulate, it is very difficult for her to sit down, understand the best practices, and then clean up all that data. And that is where we have the new feature called Site Optimizer. So here's a quick demo. So what it does, so it's present in the system settings in Jira, where you can navigate to Site Optimizer. I just want to make sure if it's visible to all of you. Here we have three attributes: custom fields, issues, and project role permissions. I just pause it for a second. So yeah, we have three attributes: project role permissions, issues, and custom fields. Here on these individual cards, we provide you with how many issues are there on your site at this moment. What is the recommended number? So if for those who can't see, it's written 5 million. So it is a recommendation that we have come up with from our analysis, that if you are within the 5 million limit of issues on your cloud, you will have a performant Jira experience. And this is a percentage which shows how close you are with respect to that number. Once you click, once you click on any of these cards, you will be taken to a deeper dive into these individual attributes. So for example, you can see how your issues have been growing over time. On the top, you'll just have a number representation of this chart where you'll see the total number of issues, 5 million, which is the recommendation, and how close you are. Below the chart, we provide you with some criteria to start cleaning up that data. So for example, here I've selected, find me all the issues from the last year that were lowest priority. And this JQL returned, let's say 500,000 issues. Now I can bulk select all these issues and click on archive, or I can go ahead and look at view issues, where you can see, okay, what sort of data points I am cleaning up. So here you are on the new issue navigator, where you can see all the issues that were matching that query. Yeah, so once you're back, so either you can archive all these 500,000 issues, or maybe you can just see, okay, I need to select this project and I need to clean up, let's say, only 10,000 out of these 500,000. So now I go ahead and click on archive. So this is where your archival process for issues start, and it's a similar experience for the other two attributes as well. So here you can see that the archival process is taking place. It takes a couple of minutes, but yeah. So the one idea that I want to put forward is that a lot of you all might have data retention policies as well, right? You don't want to delete data. And that's why I've specifically mentioned archive. So archive does not remove data permanently from your instance. It is a soft deletion process, and that is what we are following for all the attributes. So once your issues are now archived, we have an activity log. Within that activity log, you can see when was the action taken, what action was taken, who took that action, and how many issues were archived, right? Which basically shows you that, okay, if someone else in your organization took that action, it is visible. And in those three buttons that you'll see on the last column, you can either restore these issues back to your site, or you can download as CSV to see which issues were actually moved from your site. And this is the same experience that we have, let's say, for custom fields. So we got a lot of feedback from you all that you want to clean up a lot of custom fields that are piling up on the instance. So similarly, in custom fields, you can either bulk select, move them to trash, or you can just select one by one and clean them up. So we launched this last month, and within a month we have seen almost, so I just checked the data today, and we saw more than 100 sites have been cleaned up using Site Optimizer, which shows that customers actually need to start cleaning up their data. And yeah, more than 5 million issues have already been archived using Site Optimizer. And we have got some amazing feedback from the customers as well. So this is like one of the largest customers, I can't take the name of, but they said that we will start using Site Optimizer and stop using the custom app that we built in-house to clean up data. Another admin said that this is a lifesaver. Admins will love to see this because it will save them so much time. So it's also saving a lot of time for the admins. To summarize, what is our goal? The goal is to empower all the admins who are there on Jira Cloud today with the insights to understand, tools to clean Jira for better performance and productivity. We want to provide admins with these three major features or three major capabilities. One, with the greater visibility. Now you can see how your site has been growing on each individual attribute. Plus, we are showing you with the recommendations or criteria to start cleaning that up. Secondly, you have increased control. Now you can clean up data or restore it back by just the click of a button. And then lastly, better usability. All of this, as you just saw, is packed in a one intuitive dashboard. Additionally, we also have in-product notifications, basically to help you stay on top of how your system is doing in terms of the data volumes. Finally, what's next? So the new attributes that we're launching will be projects cleanup, where if you have a lot of thousands of projects just piling up in your data, in your system, you can start cleaning them up. Secondly would be configurations cleanup, specifically schemes, screen schemes, issue type schemes that I talked about. Enhancements on the existing criterias. So one major enhancement being deleting duplicate custom fields. There will be some UI improvements for helping you navigate within that dashboard better. And finally, better monitoring. So you probably have a health score to come back, keep on looking at that health score daily to see how your system has been performing. And yeah, thank you. That was short. Thank you so much. If you have any feedback, like do scan the QR code, and if you want to add something to the site optimizer or dashboard, do let me know and just, or you can just meet me after the session. Thank you so much.
Please raise your hand if you have questions. Yeah, we'll go to him first.
Hi. Hi, I'm Dinesh here.
Hi, Dinesh.
So you talk about the custom fields cleanup, right? So how is deciding whether it's a duplicate custom field?
So currently what we are doing is if they have similar summary or description, that's our first milestone. So for example, we saw a lot of systems have custom field, for example, Dinesh, Dinesh copy, Dinesh 2, Dinesh 3. So if a lot of them have same names or similar descriptions, that's our first criteria that we are going to work with.
But think about my criteria. I have a field called assign team, 5 assign teams, which all are single group picker. Okay, but I'm using in different projects.
Okay.
So how the system will treat as a duplicate field. And in another case, if I delete the duplicate fields, right, in practical scenarios, it will be associated in the filters, right? Some filters I captured in the report. If I delete this custom field, I treat as this is system wide, right? It will declare as a duplicate field. I will select and delete it out. Okay. Post deletion. As an admin, I will delete it out because I will assign this task to L1 team. Go. This is the way you need to delete it out. You have a full documentation. I will inform them. They will delete it out. Right. Post deletion. My filter will not work. My reports will not work. My dashboard will not work. My subscription will not work. So what is the limitation there?
Yep. So like I said, so we are not first of all doing permanent deletion.
No,
so
here you are talking about the custom field. I am not talking about the issues. Issues you are archiving it.
no, even custom fields. We are not permanently deleting custom fields. We are just trashing. So it will be there in your trash. So we are giving you a buffer period, let's say of 60 days.
Yes, until it's the trash, the filter will get generated.
Yeah.
If you remove from the trash only, the filter you throw the error.
Okay. I think that's a feedback that I'll take. Yeah.
The filter will always throw the error when the field is not available in the trash itself.
Okay.
Okay. If you move to the trash to the filter, sorry, custom field, it will not display in the your issues, right? You are not able to update the tickets, but the filter is getting the details from the database.
Yep.
Until it's in the trash, it's still in the database only.
Yep.
You are not marking the trash from the database.
So we have a separate index where we are keeping all the data that is soft deleted. And
Yes. Even archive issue also doing the same, right?
Yep.
Even I will archive the issue. When I generate the report, I will show what are the number of archive issues as well.
Right.
If I am able to, I have the permission for seeing the archive issues.
Yep.
The same thing goes for trash as well.
Yep.
So how you guys go to overcome this?
So if I understand your question correctly, you are saying that once we restore something back, and if it is throwing an error, how do we solve that?
Yes.
Right?
Because I want to optimize, like whenever you display the when it's writing the field, right?
Yep.
You can introduce how many filters it is used.
Yep. Right.
You can introduce how many filters because the third party plugin is doing the same.
Yep.
The same functionality is not available in the cloud. So without doing that, we can't say I can run the optimization.
Yep.
By just archiving the issues is not meant for optimization.
Yeah.
Because the indexing is anyway happening in the cloud side. To avoid the indexing, to avoid the time taken for indexing, that purpose only became for cloud. Right?
Yep. No, I think that's a fair feedback. If you are actually deleting something and then restoring it back, how does it not?
No, not restoring back. After deleting itself,
Yeah.
it will give error in the reports. My subscription will not generate the exact output
Okay.
until and unless I modify the filter to the right assigned.
Okay. Yep.
So optimizer in the sense you should optimize
should replace the filter as
So,
well.
yeah, I got it. I got your
When you
question.
remove the duplicate fields,
Yeah.
I am marking one field as the original field, right?
Right.
Wherever the duplicate fields associated even in the filters as well.
Yeah.
You need
So-
to update it out.
Yeah, I think that's a good question. And if I remember correctly, we got a similar feedback where a lot of customers said that they want to merge the fields, right? They want to merge similar fields, and let's say Dinesh and Dinesh too, they just want to merge the data points into one, so that whenever a filter is actually used, it doesn't throw an error. So like I said, as a first milestone, we do have the firstly ability to delete those fields, and then next we want the customers to be able to merge the values and the data from one field to the other.
Yeah, the same functionality available in the data center. I am talking about why it's not in the cloud.
We are working on it. Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Is there any roadmap for project-based analysis? The similar way you are going with the site or related stuff, right?
You mean
And project admins.
for project admins? Yeah.
Every time going the org admins doing the cleanup, you can redirect to the project admins so that better you take care of yourself.
Yeah. So again, amazing question and amazing feedback, and it's kind of music to my ears because it resonates with a lot of customers. So what we were thinking was that within Site Optimizer, if we can provide project admins with some permissions, that they can also use it and they can just leverage that rather than building a separately new tool for them. It's part of the still part of our exploration, and we would further like to understand what exactly do project admins need, and how will that change their experience within that. So once we have a better clarity on it, I think we will be able to integrate that. Yes.
Thank you. Hi, Aryan here.
Hi, Aryan.
I'm Scrum Master, and it makes me wonder like why 40% of them are not updating it. Maybe Scrum Masters are not doing their job well, or they don't have Scrum Masters. And the other, that was just feedback, and I just want to add one more point. Like, is there any scheduler kind of thing where it automatically deletes the issues or unwanted data?
Again, it's an amazing feedback, and it's not there yet, but I understand what you need is setting up some automations, a frequency for cleanup, and basis some criteria, it automatically starts cleaning up, and you don't have to manually go to Site Optimizer. So again, it's something that we will be working on, but I take that feedback. Yes, definitely.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And he'll be around if you want to catch him up. You can still connect.
Hello, this is Priyanka. Just with the perspective of optimizer, like we have now optimizer for custom fields, I would like to know if there is a future plan for workflows. As in, there are some workflows which use the same statuses, same transitions, and everything is similar. Just that the names are different, and it is just a redundant data in the system. So instead, if we have something like this is the workflow, these are the statuses, the same statuses, and that can be deleted. So if there is something like that coming up, it would be really grateful.
Yeah, yeah. So
Within the Jira, like for yeah.
So, yeah, just to answer your question, so the way we have thought about adding attributes is projects is at the core of any cleanup that happens,
Right.
right? So once the projects are clean up, it frees up all the schemes that are there,
Correct.
associated custom fields that are there.
Correct.
So that's why as the first milestone, we said that we'll start with projects cleanup, then all the schemes, and once the schemes are freed up, you will have workflows which are now orphaned. So yes, to answer your question, yes, we have workflows and statuses as well,
Yeah.
which will be there on this
Yeah.
feature. Yes.
All right. Thank you.
And if you have more questions, you can connect with him later. So he'll be around in the booth.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. So that was very interesting. Up next, we have another session by Rishabh Bensa, who is also another product manager on JSM Cloud with Atlassian. Before he set his laptop here, a quick question on Atlassian Analytics. I don't know how many of you heard Atlassian Analytics. So that's again one of the recent addition to their product list, right? It's been integrated to AI and other things. So anybody heard of it? Anybody is using it currently? Great. Yeah, you guys are on top of everything. Great. So he's going to give us a few tips on measuring team impact in JSON using Atlassian Analytics and AI other stuff. So that's an interesting topic, and this is something was interesting in the team 24 even as well, since most of the solution partners are more into AI and Gen AI and the artificial intelligence. So let's see what Atlassian is focusing on. I'm sure it's going to be interesting for all of us. Over to you, Ashok. Just give me a second.
Hi everyone. So I'm Rishabh Bansal. I'm the product manager in Jira Service Management. I look after the reporting analytics requirement across JSM, that is the asset reporting, ops reporting, even the JSM project reports. Our team has also built certain functionalities within Atlassian Analytics, which you just got to know that all of the JSM specific requirements were built by our team. Now, in this session, I want to basically cover about why analytics is important for a service desk. So these are the three metrics which I would like to highlight and which will tell us why analytics is important for ITSM. So having a self-serve analytics tool helps you in 30% improvement in operational efficiency. You will be able to analyze your issues quickly. You will be able to analyze which are the request types which are taking the most load, and which are the agents which are heavily loaded. And it also helps in improving the service quality. And this is a FOPS survey. Like if you are able to inbuild analytics into your day-to-day tooling, you can improve your service quality delivery to your customers by 20%. And as we all know, one of the most beneficial things of analytics is it helps you take faster decisions. So before going into how Atlassian is solving, these are the things why we want to solve for our customers, and what are the metrics you should look into as a service desk if you are using service desk. Now, let me talk a bit about Atlassian Analytics. Does anyone know when Atlassian Analytics went GA? What year did it go GA? Anyone has any idea? Okay, so Atlassian Analytics was announced GA in last Team 23, and it's a acquisition which we had with Chartero, and then rebranded it to Atlassian Analytics. Atlassian Analytics is a part of our connected data vision, where we are building 4 different concepts. Let me go back to your slide. Yeah. So at the top two, you see the contextual insights and the in-product dashboards. These are the in-product experience which we want our customers to have, where they will be able to get insights based on the context where they are in. In-product dashboards, many of you would be using Jira dashboards, the in-project reports which we have. So these are the kind of experiences which are live right now. And last year we introduced Atlassian Analytics that is built on top of Atlassian Data Lake. Atlassian Analytics you can think of as a BI tool which comes bundled with your Enterprise Edition. It's a very powerful BI tool which is where you can have data connected across your all first-party tools like across Jira, Confluence, Opsgenie, JSM. Now we are also recently we also included the data from Open Toolchain, where you are able to get the data from GitLab, GitHub, and other data sources. Plus, in addition to that, you can also connect your own data sources. Basically, if you have your own Snowflake environment or your AWS database, the DynamoDB or something, you can directly connect it to Atlassian Analytics and visualize your data. Having all this helps you to empower your team. The productivity of your team increases because you are able to get insightful reports and get it on time. You can schedule your reports. It helps you to connect data across your DevOps value stream. Basically, let's say if you have deployment data that is sitting in Bitbucket and you have change management data which is sitting under JSM, you are able to connect and visualize both of them together under in Atlassian Analytics. And the last one is the real-time insights. Because the data is regularly flowing real-time in the data lake, you can get the real-time insights of what is happening within your service desk and across your Atlassian products. Now, we talked about why analytics is important, but what you should measure. There are different metrics which are floating around, but I would like to pinpoint on these three metrics which we believe that if you are able to track these three metrics, you will be able to improve a lot on your service desk performance. The first one is the operational health. Operational health is basically how your service desk is operating, what is the agent workload, what is the how many of your agents are overloaded with the request, what are the request types which need some kind of attention from you. Second is the customer experience, and as we all know, like most of us here in this room wants our customers to be happy, and that's why the custom tracking how the customers are using your service desk, are they happy with it or not, is very, very important. Last is the request bottlenecks. So this again, let's say there are some requests which are still in, which requires your attention, which are not moving, which have been in multiple status update, but they haven't been resolved. You want to figure out what are these requests to take some action urgently on them. Now, talking about let me show you a small demo. Earlier I was planning to play a video, but because of some issues I decided I'll instead have a live demo where you can see the power of analytics, how we are using it. Okay, so this is the Atlassian Analytics interface. If you can see, in Atlassian Analytics, for our JSM customers, we provide certain out-of-the-box dashboards for you. There are 3 dashboards which I would like to talk about today, but there are 20 plus other dashboards which are available you can go and play with. You can also create your own custom dashboards. You have all the data available across all your first party tools, that is Jira, Confluence, Bitbucket, Opsgenie, even the third party data as I mentioned before. But let's talk about these 3 dashboards. The first one is the operational service desk operational overview. So in this dashboards, what we have done is we have provided you multiple filters where you can filter by project, request type, and also ignore certain labels, Jira issue labels which you want to. There is a quick overview section like the net flow of requests, which means like how many requests were created versus how many requests were resolved. So if you are seeing a negative red value here, that means like you are getting more requests and you are resolving less. And it also shows you overall load per assignee, like what is the total load that each like on an average the agents have, and then how many agents are overloaded. You at the right hand side you can define this threshold value, that what do you consider as a overloaded agent. And now in the bottom you have a more detailed drill down analysis like the request load. I'll specifically like to show you this resolution time versus resolution frequency by request type. This chart shows you all the top 200 request type. On the y-axis we have the number of requests that were received for this request type. On the left hand side we have the median time of how much time it is taking to resolve this request. So based on this, you can have a very detailed overview of how your service desk is performing, what is the operational health of your service desk. We have more metrics, like I'll not go through each of them, but one other metric which I would like to show you here is that week by week you get the overloaded assignee trend, like how many assignees have more than 5 requests in parallel in progress. If you see now how analytics can be helpful for you. If you see, so in the bottom it is January month. In the January month, the number of overloaded assignees were around 20 to 25. In the last couple of months, in May and April, the number of such assignees have grown to 50. That means there is something wrong happening within the service desk, and this requires your attention. So that's how you can use the analytics and figure out, there is something which has to be done to resolve and make your service desk more operational. Let's look into the customer experience dashboard. In the customer experience dashboard, we are tracking mainly the two metrics. One is the SLA, how many requests have breached the SLA, and second is the CSAT rating, like what is the CSAT score given by the customers. So for tracking the SLA metrics, we have for each of the SLA, you can select different SLA and get a basically multiple level of charts like met versus breached SLA. If you see that there, for this particular SLA time to first response, you are getting a week over week tracking of all the issues that have breached SLA versus the requests which have met the SLA. Now we have another on the CSAT rating. We are showing you the average CSAT rating week over week and the number of ratings that have been received. So again, this dashboard is quite helpful to get an overview of how your customers are liking your service desk. Are they facing some immediate issues? And then you can get an insight and figure and try to work on it. Last is the request needing attention. This is basically the dashboard where you are able to see the requests which are pending from a long time. So if you see that you will be able to see the issues which have been assigned multiple times, handed over to multiple teams over multiple phases, and but are not still resolved. So what you can do here is like figure out these issues which are still pending, and try to see like what are the gaps here, what is there something related to whether the team is not having the capacity or whether the team requires some training. All of these things can be done once you are able to get these insights. So this is about the dashboards I wanted to share. Now let's continue with the presentation. Just a second. I'm not able to. Okay. Now, we have talked a lot about Atlassian Analytics. Most of these functionalities are already live. And in the title of my presentation, you saw about AI also. Before moving further, again, a trivia question for you guys. In the Team 24, which happened in April, there was a new product announced by Atlassian. Does anyone know the name of the new product? Yeah, it's Robo. So, yeah. So, Robo is our first AI product that we have launched, and there are multiple features within Robo which we are also trying to bring within JSM. Right now, this presentation talks about some of the AI features which we already have within Atlassian Analytics, but in future, we are trying to integrate, or we are integrating with Robo, working with Robo team, and bringing most of these features within JSM also. So let's look into what is we are shipping in Atlassian Analytics as part of our Atlassian Intelligence offering. The first feature, and this is one of the most asked feature by our customers, is that a lot of customers face a lot of issues while creating their own queries, because not everyone is technically profound in the SQL. So what they want is some kind of NLP to SQL converter, and that's what we have done. I'll show you again a live demo of it, how it works. within Atlassian Analytics, you have this capability now, where if you give some instruction to the Atlassian intelligence, it will be able to convert it into a SQL query, and then you can run and do analysis. Second thing is, I talked a lot about the different dashboards which we had. Now, how one difficult thing which we have is to analyze what is happening in the chart. So with Atlassian Intelligence, we are introducing charts insights functionality, which basically helps you understand what is happening within the chart. You will get a brief description of what are the things which have happened based on the data, and also recommendation based on the industry standards. So let me show you a brief demo of this. So I did a little bit of cheating. I had a pre-filled query on the left hand side. I don't know whether you are able to see this or not, but I can read it for you guys. So on the left hand side, you will be able to see that show the number of issues that have breached SLA in the last week, grouped by request type, and remove the blank request type. So it's like very generic statement which I have given. If I click on go, it's running in the background, and it will be able to generate a SQL hopefully. Yes, so if you see a SQL has been generated for you, and if you run this query, you will be able to get some insights. Hopefully it works, otherwise I'll have to show you another example. Yes, it worked. I think the resolution, okay, so there is some issue with the resolution, but in the bottom charts you can see that it has grouped the request types. Request report a system problem, there are around 46 issues which have breached SLA. Report broken hardware, there are around 7 issues. Request an emergency, what is this, contract review, there are around 18 issues. On the right hand side, you can also see it has plotted a bar graph. Right now it's not totally visible because there is some issue with the connection, but it's able to, you can see the graph has, pie chart has also been generated for you, all with the simple instruction which you have given to the Atlassian Analytics, and it's able to generate everything into it. So that's the part. There is another example, but maybe I will skip it because it's almost similar. It's a bit more complicated example, but it also does a similar thing where you are able to give a command and then generate a SQL query and a corresponding graph. For the insight feature, let me show you one of the dashboard which I used. So this is again the service operational health overview dashboard which I showed you earlier. If you go here, you will just a second. I think there is some issue. How do I stop sharing? Okay, so right now I'm not able to share it, but within the dashboard, you are able to get insight icon where you will be able to generate the insights for each of the charts. What happens here is that Atlassian Intelligence feature runs in the background. It's able to read the chart data and provide you some valuable insights. Yep. Cool. Now let's go back to the presentation. So we talked about the AI functionalities which are now available as part of Atlassian Analytics. There are new things, as I mentioned to you, that are coming in future, which will be powered through Rovo platform. So now I want to also mention, so these are the functionalities which I talked about are right now present in Atlassian Analytics. Now what about the in-product experience? And I know a lot of you use the in-product experience also, and you don't want to, again, for a regular insights, you don't want to move from one tool to another. So what we have done is, we are bringing some of the capabilities which we have in Atlassian Analytics and bring it in product. So one of the features which we have is the asset reporting functionality. Asset reporting is a new functionality which we launched back in February 24. It went GA then, and now we are also bringing some upgrades. All of this is powered by Atlassian platform, which also powers Atlassian Analytics. Similarly, we have made improvements in our in-product ops reporting. If you have used OpsGenie or if you use alert and incident management within JSM, you will now be able to see new reports that are powered by Atlassian platform. So what it does is, this is the first step which we are doing within the in-product analytics, where we are bringing some of the capabilities of Atlassian platform to product. Now our next step is we will modify this, and you will see some of these in the next, what is coming next. So this is one mock. This is again not the final design. What we are doing is the dashboards which are available in product. What we are trying to bring is some of the out-of-the-box dashboards within product. So let's say you are a project admin, you want to see the reports only specific to your project. You can configure that, because we will have out-of-the-box templates available just for your projects, and you can configure it. You will also have the chart builder experience, where you can modify the Excel, modify the data which you want to show, modify the dashboards, change the layout of the dashboards. All of that is possible. The other thing is, we are also bringing some more AI capabilities, which will help you to create some faster custom reporting solutions. That's it. Just some of the things which I didn't add in the slide is about the robot stuff. It's again under development, and we have a very aggressive roadmap of delivering some of these items over the next few months. So please, if you want to discuss further, please feel free to reach out to me. And if you have any questions, happy to answer them. Questions?
Hi, good afternoon. So the cool thing is that Atlassian Analytics AI. So do we need any particular prompt writing for that?
Good question. Right now, we have fine-tuned the prompts at the back end, because we know the specific use cases which the customers are asking, and this is a regular feedback loop which we are adding. So based on the, if there are some things, right now which I have shown you, most of them are pre-generated. I know that those will work, but there are some queries which don't work. So this is again a feedback loop which we keep retraining our model, and it keeps on improving. So from the customer side, right now there is no prompting required. It's handled at the back end.
And one more thing, it's just out of curiosity. So what is the uniqueness of Atlassian Analytics, and how it is different from your others?
From others in comparison to the Power BI and other tools?
Exactly.
Okay, good question. So within Power BI, it's a separate tool which you have to, by the way, purchase separately. You'll have to pay extra bucks for it. Atlassian Analytics is available out of the box. If you have an enterprise license, you don't have to pay anything extra. Other things are you automatically get access to Atlassian Data Lake. Atlassian Data Lake is basically where your all the first party product data is coming, and you can get access to that. We have recently announced GA for the data share of Atlassian Data Lake also, where you will be able to export this data to other BI tools or to your own. Let's say you want to do some analytics on your own and don't want to use Atlassian Analytics, that is also possible. So these are the capabilities. If you have Atlassian Analytics, you will be only able to get. Then if you have Power BI, then you can't do all of this because Atlassian Data Lake is required. Yeah. And other Important stuff is that we are continuously trying to integrate more and more with the Atlassian ecosystem. If you see that there is a lot of investment going on where we are integrating across multiple products, bringing in all the third-party data also within Atlassian Data Lake. So that's another advantage where right now you will have to go and configure all your other BI tools which you have.
Thank you.
Yeah, so right now we have the open toolchain data already available. Work is going on to first enable the second party marketplace data, and that you will see within the next 6 months the marketplace data also coming into the data lake. The third party data, you already have certain connections, like you have around 12 connections where you can connect your Google Sheets data in, for example. Yeah, Tempo. So these are again in our product roadmap. We are prioritizing some of these third-party integrations. So recently we introduced Google Sheets, and there are plans to introduce other third-party integrations also as part of Atlassian Analytics. Yeah.
This is Kubendran. On the data security part, what is the collection of data in the back end of the intelligence?
So again, a good question, and which is a very must requirement for our enterprise customers. And whatever data which the data lake has, it's following the Atlassian policy, security and privacy policy. We are not doing anything which is against that policy. Everything within the Atlassian data lake, the data which we are storing, is adhering end to end with that policy.
Just to add it up, for example, can we add an exception to the intelligence? Is that possible?
So when you set up a data lake connection, you can give access of which particular data that data lake connection will have. Let's say you don't want to include a particular asset data, or the CMDB which we talked about. You don't want to include some schemas in that. That access the org admin has, and the org admins can configure those connections. On top of that, what we are doing in future is we are trying to adhere to in-product permissioning also. Like let's say you have some Jira in-product permissionings which you have set up. So what we are trying to build a system is that we can adhere to whatever the in-product permissions are there and provide analytics on that. Just an example, let's say for a customer or asset manager who has permissions for schema, out of the 5 schemas, they have permission only for 3 schemas. When you generate an asset report, you will be only able to see those 3 schemas. 2 other schemas will automatically be excluded from your report. So that is the other work which we are doing, so that we can adhere to the in-product permissioning also.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Another question is, in this Google Analytics, will we have the Bitbucket data as well? As in the number of pull requests created per issue and the related data?
Yes. You already have apart from Bitbucket data, you already have the data through Open Toolchain. If you have integrated the GitHub and GitLab in the Open Toolchain, if it is coming, then you will be able to access that data also right now. You have the deployments data already present. You can go and play with it right now.
And also will we be able to export these dashboards?
Yes, you have the, if you want me to show, so if you see here, you have the functionality to add subscriptions.
Yeah.
You also have the functionality to download the dashboards as PDF. Already these all things are available.
Thank you.
Yeah. Any other questions? Cool. Thanks everyone. Thanks for staying so long, and really appreciate you having been staying till the last session. Thanks everyone for coming.
Thank you, Rishabh. We are wrapping up the breakout session for today. So this is the last session we had in this hall, and we'll be closing the Zoom link also now. But please join the other hall, the main hall. We still have an interesting session going on, and it will continue till 4 o'clock. And you also have stars by our solution partners. And please stay back till the end of the session. There are cool giveaways from Atlassian. Make sure you have your tags with you, so you have to return that to accept giveaways. So you would have that near the reception or the registration desk towards the end of the day. So thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you for patiently waiting when we had our technical glitches. I have this one for somebody who answered the trivia question. That's for you. Congratulations. I'm sorry. Okay, so we are closing this room now. Please feel free to go back to the main hall. So we still have sessions going on there. Once again, thank you so much for joining us today.